welcome back to AM Prime this morning. So our last conversation for the morning, we are getting into one that I think can resonate with a lot of young viewers out there. LinkedIn is often seen as just an online resume, but for many professionals, it has become a powerful tool for building a career, attracting opportunities, and connecting on a global scale. So this morning, we are joined by Antonio Prescott, who has first-hand experience using LinkedIn strategically to unlock job opportunities. And he'll be sharing his practical insights on how professionals, especially here in the Caribbean, can leverage the platform to grow, get noticed, and position themselves for success. Good morning, Antonio.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to AM Prime.
Thank you.
So let's set the scene for the conversation. For those who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about your professional journey and how LinkedIn became part of your success story?
Okay, so it started, my deceased father friend told me, Antonio, a lady is selling a vehicle at a reasonable price. So I went to see this vehicle. It was like, let's say, 15, 18 years ago. This vehicle was a Nissan B13 vehicle. The lady at that point in time was selling the vehicle for $10,000. That was an unbelievable price. So the vehicle, the body of the vehicle looked great. The engine needed one or two work on it. And I purchased that vehicle, maybe spent about $2,000 to fix the vehicle, and was able to sell that vehicle for $24,000. And since from then, sales has just been something that I just keep on trying to sell something. I was selling women clothes pre-COVID and catering for persons who go into boat rides, who go into more like events that every weekend I will get X amount of sales. So COVID came, I had to pivot, and that way I started really focusing on sales training. So I got an opportunity with CTS to be interviewed to be a lecturer, and I was successful. And since COVID time, let's say 2019 to now, I've been lecturing at CTS College, Sales and Marketing Certificate course. And it has been excellent thus far. LinkedIn is a platform that people utilize for job opportunities. From before myself, I used to utilize Caribbean Jobs, Job City. But what I have seen differently is that you are able now to focus on an international market. So we know that jobs are very difficult to obtain in our local market based on economic difficulties and so forth. So the opportunity is there. It's just to understand how to use the platform. A lot of people on LinkedIn, but what are you doing on LinkedIn?
And that's true. I think personally, at a point in time, I was using LinkedIn, but I had no clue how to use it because the platform itself is really not just to upload your CV, but there's a lot more that you can do on the platform. Now, many people in the Caribbean see LinkedIn as just that, and they don't necessarily understand how wide or how broad the platform actually is. So what do you think they're getting wrong about the platform then?
The getting wrong about the platform is that people are seeing so many professionals on the platform, seeing persons with a degree, their masters, and feeling that I cannot post on LinkedIn because I'm not professional as them.
Right.
Once you get away that stigma from yourself, you realize that LinkedIn welcoming you. You may go on TikTok, you may go on Instagram, you may post something. People may have negative comments, but on LinkedIn is a supportive platform where persons really help you, connect with you, and show you a different light. And that's the reason why it is that I love this platform, because many of the opportunities I've gotten, I've trained companies locally, internationally, like the US, UK, Pakistan, India, you name it, through LinkedIn, because I may not be able to go to all the networking events, maybe that Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce have maybe 1,000 or 1,200 just to go to the event, but I could go on LinkedIn and connect with the CEO of Republic Bank. I could connect with the CEO of Amazon per se, send a message. If they reply, so be it, and you could have a communication virtually per se. So that is the opportunity that LinkedIn has. It's not something just locally, but it's something globally, and you can connect with persons for free.
Right. And LinkedIn is labeled as a social media platform, which, again, I think a lot of people don't know that.
That's the thing, because the fear factor.
Yes. Now, from your own experience, what kinds of opportunities have come directly from being active on LinkedIn? You would have mentioned a few just now, like communicating with people you would normally get a chance to communicate with on a normal basis, what other opportunities can we see coming out of LinkedIn?
Okay, so personally, I could talk from experience. I got headhunted from a company in Panama, Iowa. So I'm working with them. It's a regional position where I focus entirely on the Caribbean. So Iowa sells home appliances, small appliances, TV, television, and so forth. So it just goes to show you that the opportunity is there. And it's not being paid in TT because Panama is basically 1 Balboa to 1 USD. So it's USD. The job is flexible, so I do my other stuff as well. So talking from experience, look at that opportunity there. And we know we have a Forex situation in the country. So basically, I'm able now to alleviate that situation by focusing on connecting with a company that is not within Trinidad and Tobago market.
Right. LinkedIn is something that people, it's not just you looking for jobs, but businesses can also look for you.
Correct. So besides job opportunities, I being in sales, I could also utilize LinkedIn for prospecting. So next week, I supposed to go to Belize, and I connected with someone in Belize through LinkedIn. So we have that meeting next week. So imagine that going to a country before actually being in the country, you could connect with someone and have that meetup that you could be able to see that person in real and have a conversation and build an ongoing professional relationship.
Right. Now, when it comes to sales, as you mentioned, you are heavily involved in that realm.
Yeah.
How have you used LinkedIn to push that? What aspect of the platform itself helps you in the realm of sales?
Great question. So persons who on LinkedIn may not understand that they have Sales Navigator. You pay $100 USD for it, but it makes sense. So Sales Navigator, you are able now, it's LinkedIn, but it's just a separate interface. And when it says Navigator, you are able to see persons who have been updating in terms of their position, because on LinkedIn you may get notifications, but you actually get those persons who we are prospecting to. You are getting to see persons who have changed jobs within 90-day period. You are able to download leads compared to going to a lead agency and trying to pay for it to get qualified leads, because getting leads is one thing, but you want to get leads who are interested in your business, your ideal customer profile. So with utilizing Sales Navigator, I'm able to pinpoint exactly who I'm looking to target with, and even if I'm not connected with them, you are given 50 in-mails, meaning that you could message them directly. So it's like this, right? You could use Apollo and extract emails from persons on LinkedIn, but when you send them an email, they don't know you.
Yeah.
But the chances of they replying to you on LinkedIn makes more sense because they are seeing a real person, a profile. So I would say it makes more sense messaging someone on LinkedIn, prospecting, than email, unless it is they approve and give you their email address.
Yes. Now, if someone signs up for LinkedIn today, what are the first 3 things that you would recommend they do to set up their profile properly to get the best out of it?
You need to have a professional picture because it's a professional platform. And some people, they have their picture, but it's not public. Yeah. It may be just for friends. So when somebody connecting with you new, they wouldn't see your picture. So you need to have your professional picture public, and also it have something which is rectangular, that's your banner. Remember, when someone lands on your profile, they want to see and be amused as to your profile. So your picture and your banner itself is where you go in and really, I would say, curtail it in such a way that persons now could be enticed to want to understand more about your profile. So your banner and your profile is basically where someone sees and say, well, okay, let me scroll down. After that now, your LinkedIn headline, which is what you do. Because when it says that you put your LinkedIn headline exactly what you do, and not about putting MBA candidate or MBA graduate. Qualifications is one thing. When you go to a job, and you get the position based on qualifications, and the director of the company, after 6 months, assess and seeing that you cannot be profitable to the organization, you will be retrenched. So you want to put exactly what it is that you do and what sort of asset that you could be to the company. Your about section is about you, how you started your journey, how you started in sales, maybe how you can help people, success stories, and also to how people could connect with you. And that's the most important. You have experience where jobs that you maybe worked and presently right now in your educational background. Once you have that, then after you could curtailed stuff as time go by, but that's the foundation of a LinkedIn profile.
Right. Now, on the flip side, what have you seen as some of the biggest mistakes that people make on the platform?
Some of the mistakes I see people make on the platform is that they just have a LinkedIn profile and it's dormant.
Right.
If it is that you're on LinkedIn, you at least want to post at least once, 2 times per week to show a person that you're active, and that will help LinkedIn to send your profile to prospect and also ideal clients that you may want to connect with, because if you are dormant, then after LinkedIn wouldn't push your profile. So being on LinkedIn is one thing, but being active is another.
Right. Now, just to get put it into context for people, or maybe simplify it, the having a LinkedIn profile, it comes as though you are selling yourself.
Definitely.
Right? So just expand on that, because I want to just simplify it in the best way possible for the viewers.
So awesome question. What I would say is that applying for jobs, doing up a resume is one thing, but what I see internationally is that companies now asking for your LinkedIn profile. And why is that? Your LinkedIn profile is your digital resume. A lot of people don't understand that once you're on LinkedIn, if you Google yourself, you would see your LinkedIn profile showing up. So if your LinkedIn profile is your digital resume, which if I'm a recruiter and you're a candidate, I could assess you more based on your profile than your resume, because I see your picture, I see what you post, I see how it is that you think of a person. So LinkedIn, you could do posts like articles, you could do video posts, you could do type-based posts. So when it is you doing these different type of posts, I could understand you better as an individual. So internationally, companies looking at your LinkedIn profile rather than your actual resume, because someone could write a resume for you and they don't necessarily have to be the type of individual that you are.
Right.
Based on the resume.
Right. Now, if there are persons who are maybe introverted and they're not quite social media savvy, or they personally don't want to, put themselves out there too much, yet they still want to succeed on the platform. They still want, maybe they're looking for a job, or they have a business and they're looking for people to come their way. But how can they succeed on the platform without being too active? Or is there a way to do that?
Well, for myself, I try to post at least 3-4 times a week. Someone new may not be able to post 3-4 times a week, but at least you want to post maybe once a week. You don't necessarily have to post video content because you may be fearful of video. So you could start off with type-based, because typing is basically simple.
Yes.
And you can maybe do carousels as well too. So you want to focus on just getting out there and providing some sort of content.
Yes.
Yes, it might be difficult, but at the end of the day in this life, once it is you want something, you need to work on it. Just like an interview, because going to many interviews and not being prepared, you are going to fail.
Yes.
So I could understand some persons are introvert, they may not be extrovert per se, but you need to start somewhere, and that way to start is maybe at least a type post once per week.
Right. Now, what types of jobs are currently most accessible on LinkedIn, if you can speak on that?
Everything. LinkedIn is the powerhouse to the world. Like, as a sales professional, if you are not utilizing LinkedIn as a tool, you will fail. You cannot just utilize email marketing, because some persons, they will see an email, I do not know you, I'm not going to respond to that email. But on LinkedIn, you having that professional picture, that banner, at least you are a real individual, because in sales, people buy from people, as they say, quote unquote, who they like and trust.
Right.
So that's why I wrote this book, which is Sales is Like Dating, because at the end of the day, some people may not understand sales. All of us are in sales. At the end of the day, when it is that you have to let your child get up each day to go to school, you have to sell to your child as to why they should get up each day to go to school, to get an education, to go and work. So when it is now that parent become old, the child now could basically maintain that parent, care for them, and so forth. So we all are in sales regardless, we don't like it or not.
Right. Now, as you mentioned the book already, tell us a little bit about, why you created the book, what it's about, just a quick run through.
I created the book because, as I mentioned, all of us are in sales, and all of us either dated or dating presently, so it's easily to correlate. So if you don't understand sales, you'll understand dating. So before you date someone, you have to do your research. Before you prospect a company, you have to do your research. When it is that you have an actual dated self, you have to know how you're going to present to that person. So when you actually have an appointment, you have to know how you're going to present to that prospect.
And first
so
impression is everything.
Is everything. So it makes sense, and at the end of the day, your content, your message has to be relatable for persons to understand in layman terms.
Right. What is one of the I don't want to start out the book too much, but
no problem.
one of the most important points that you can take out of what you've written in that book?
Selling is ethical. So for example, I posted on LinkedIn how to sell a pen. And someone commented and said, you think you are the Wolf of Wall Street. But if persons watch a movie, Wolf of Wall Street, that individual sell unethically. He sold to persons that they would receive X amount returns if it is that they invest into his company.
Right.
And that is not the way how you sell. You have to sell ethically, honest, and be transparent. And I think that some persons don't understand that it's very important, because it's not about just gaining a big customer, but it's about maintaining the aftercare service. So this book is really guide persons as to how to sell ethically in a world that is just so busy that persons just trying to gain a buck, and it's not about that.
Yeah. Where can persons find that book?
So this book is on Amazon presently, and you could also get it at Scribbles and Quills, which is in Chagonas Gaston Street, and other few bookstores I'm trying to reach out to, like Sharon's and Mohammed's and so forth, but in the process, because the year now starts, so they said that they would reach out to me to confirm about the book being on the shelves. But Amazon and Scribbles and Quills, you'll get that presently.
Awesome. Now, just before we close this conversation, which I'm very much enjoying, by the way, having a profile on LinkedIn, I don't want people to feel as though, well, I'm currently, or maybe I'm too old right now. It makes no sense for me to have this LinkedIn account, or I'm too young. What is that, would you say, recommend that age limit or minimum age?
For someone to be on LinkedIn is a reason why.
Right.
You're not being on LinkedIn and you just been on LinkedIn because everyone has been on LinkedIn. So if you could be 18 years and you starting off on LinkedIn, that is great, because you may not be in the employment world as yet, but you are showing headhunters, recruiters, that you have that capability, and when that time comes, look at me.
Yeah.
And someone who may be a bit older than usual, at the end of the day, if you really want to keep a professional network, if it is you about all networking, that's the place to be, because business people is the ones who run the world. So if it is you really want to focus on that professional development, definitely you want to network on LinkedIn as an older individual. You may not be looking for employment, but you're just looking for, maybe reaching out to someone, having a cup of coffee and having a conversation, and not sure where it will lie. It may go to some way that professionally, or it could be just a professional relationship per se. So,
what is the simplest thing that someone can do on LinkedIn to push their professional look on the platform?
Okay, as I mentioned, content. Content for me is king, for you as a female is queen.
Right.
Because once you post content out there, for example, someone who's looking for a job opportunity, you may be thinking, I should apply to all these jobs on LinkedIn. But not necessarily so, because success is something not what you seek, but what you attract. So what you want to do, let's say you want to work in the automotive industry. You want to post content in the automotive industry, what it is that you know about, and maybe you see some pitfalls and you present some strategies. And by just doing that, it have headhunters in the automotive industry will be like, but you know a lot, let me reach out to you, and boom, you get an opportunity as for interview. And then you go to interview, be successful, you get a job. So it's what it is that you attract. And if you really want an opportunity in a particular industry, focus on the industry, focus on providing content in that industry, and someone will reach out to you.
And to a point, it really does make sense, because when other professionals are maybe scouring through LinkedIn, it comes like it's your social media profile.
Correct.
And we see you, we can assess you, and then we can decide whether we want to go further, right? So that profile, I can see it being very vital to if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for just to build connections with other people and maybe in the same field and other fields of work.
I would say this blatantly. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm on those platforms.
Yeah.
It don't make money for me. LinkedIn is 90% of my earnings. Not bashing those other platforms, it's just for like social proof. But LinkedIn is where I connect with all the business professionals.
Yes.
You know, so
understandable. Now, if our viewers can take one thing or remember one thing from this conversation, what would you want that to be?
Stop living in fear, because it have great people who are 6 foot under and was never able to live their dream. Go on LinkedIn, post. If it is you are posting 1 per week, just try it, but do not live in fear and do not study about what someone will say. The more negative comments you get goes to show you that you are doing something good in life. And that is my message.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
You're most
Mr.
welcome.
Prescott, for coming on this morning and having this conversation. I think, I honestly did not think LinkedIn was that big of a deal.
Understood.
I used to hear different, many people have different views on LinkedIn, but it is, I can see.
And it's how you use it. You know, that's the thing. A lot of people on it, but they're not getting any traction from it, because some people will be like, I'm not getting jobs. But I said, but look, I got this opportunity, and I'm not just saying it from experience. So if I could do that, so can you, because I was a person that I could not come and do an actual interview. Fear factor, cold sweating when it is that I am in a video per se, and now as time go by, being repetitive, that consistency, you know, you overcome that fear factor.
Yeah, and I will say this as well, as a young person, you know, if you're familiar with social media, familiar with Instagram, with Facebook, with TikTok, and these are platforms that we scroll. We scroll till whenever. And, you know, if you can scroll on these platforms, then I think you can just as much scroll on LinkedIn and get something out of it, you know. But it's something that we can keep, you know, in the highlights and have constant conversations about, because people, especially in a time now where people are looking for jobs, and there are a lot of young people that are coming out of school and don't know
That's the thing.
what to do, where to go.
We understand that trend, that is like 1.5 million people. So to prospect, it may be a bit challenging, but you have other markets. For example, you can't go on Instagram and type in who might be the CEO of Sunshine Snacks or something like that, but you could go on LinkedIn and do it. So once you could go on LinkedIn and do that, you have an opportunity, a gateway to actually connect with that person.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Again, Mr. Prescott, thank you.
You are most welcome.
I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Same to you. Thanks as well.
All right, so that brings us to the end of AM Prime this morning. I will leave you with this quote: defeat may serve as well as victory to shake the soul and let the glory out. This is a quote by Edwin Markham, and it's just to remind us that challenges build character and reveal our strengths, while other great daily themes will focus on, you know, just making your day special to you and making the most out of your day. Now, we have Sean Michael Small in a few minutes at the top of the hour of 8 o'clock with Talking Points, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I will see you back here again tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay inspired, stay informed. Bye-bye.